Today I'll tell you about incredibly strong, aggressive, and extremely vicious dogs with extremely powerful jaws. I wouldn't want to encounter these dogs if they weren't muzzled. And some breeds have even been banned from breeding and keeping in many countries around the world. They can act like wolves, be several times taller than humans, and some of these dogs can even deal with a bear. This is wildlife, and today I'll show you the most dangerous and aggressive dog breeds in the world. Butcher's dog. That's the nickname of our first guest. The clued-up people have already guessed that I'm talking about the Rottweiler. Many people know these dogs by their great watchdog disposition, and their stamina has always been a big help to police officers. By the way, I never said why they're called butcher's dog. The fact is that Rottweilers used to be suitable for transporting heavy carts of meat cargo from the farm to the market, and they also drove big cattle, in particular bulls. Do you know the reason the survival of these dogs came into question? That was the simple fact that trains appeared in Germany. Nevertheless, enthusiasts quickly started working on this breed, and they managed not only to save it but also to introduce it to the police, where, thanks to the strength and endurance of the butcher's dogs, they showed themselves excellently. You know, looking at the pictures of these creatures, I sometimes think that it would be possible to hire a whole staff of such dogs, and there'd be no need for people. After all, this dog can weigh almost 110 to 130 pounds, and in terms of bite force, it overtakes almost its congeners. Of course, if a person thinks about what kind of pet to choose first in their life, the Rottweiler will not be the best option. The dog's very dangerous, and only a real dog fancier can handle it. In good hands, the machine grows into an obedient and loyal dog that loves the world and people, and will never hurt anyone just because. Well, if you're already standing in the dog store and trying to distinguish the Rottweiler from the others, here's a tip. These guys have only one possible color – black and tan. American Bully. The torso of this creature arouses a real admiration even among the avid jocks, and its behavior gives the impression of a loyal and devoted man's friend. Nevertheless, I'd be careful with this dog. After all, you can hardly consider a dog which ancestors fought bulls cute and fluffy, right? In case you didn't know, the history of the American Bully began in England many years ago when bull baiting was popular. Bull dogs were used directly for this purpose, hence the name of the breed. So they were gaining popularity and cost lots of money. But one day, bull baiting was banned by law, and bull dogs were no longer needed. People sold off their dogs and sent them all over the world. Because of this, many bulldog species have undergone major changes. While the handsome American Bully has remained as similar as possible to its English ancestors, it still has the same intimidating, powerful, and muscular appearance, short muzzle, and large head. A time of curious facts, the American Bully is almost the main owner of a stable nervous system among all dogs. There's not much that can surprise this dog. Check it out for yourself if you don't believe me. And what you still need to believe is that the American Bully will protect its owner at any cost. The dog is rightly awarded the title of fighter to the last breath, which speaks for itself. However, this handsome dog is not at all a mindless brawler or aggressor. On the contrary, according to many scientists, the American Bully is smarter than the Caucasian Shepherd dog, Mastiff, and other not-stupid dogs. German Shepherd. This famous shepherd dog is very easy to train. At the same time, it's great with children and doesn't behave aggressively. However, the breed appeared not so long ago, just over 100 years ago. By the way, it was bred artificially. Wolf blood flows in the veins of these handsome creatures. Many people bred them to fulfill their purpose, the protection of livestock. It wasn't long before World War II came around. At that time, German Shepherds were again useful, already at the front. They were used there in a rather unusual way. They brought people bags with medicines. In other words, they were four-legged paramedics. Also, the dogs could be messengers or even mine pickers. Not moving away from the World War II topic, it's worth noting another interesting fact. Since Germany did not arouse the warmest feelings of many people at the time, it was decided to rename the breed Alsatian Wolf Dog. This definition is still in use today, although it didn't assimilate. Even though this breed is inferior in bite force to some other dogs, it still has big mass, sharp teeth, and most importantly, a sharp mind. It's a pretty cool combination that makes the German Shepherd a dangerous and very powerful dog. Alaskan Malamute. This is a very beautiful and unusual breed, which is at the same time one of the oldest on Earth. It got its name just in honor of the tribe which, according to legend, bred these creatures. Large and hardy animals for a long time were used for dog sledding in the far north. In 2010, Alaskan Malamutes were proclaimed the official symbol of the largest U.S. state, Alaska. These dogs were very similar to wolves. Some of them can weigh more than 88 pounds. Thick fur keeps them warm in any frost, and their muscular body helps them to cope with any obstacles on the way. Despite their kindness, Alaskan Malamutes are peculiar dogs, constantly trying to dominate and have their own way. By the way, remember I told you about resemblance to wolves? Well, Alaskan Malamutes never bark either, but they have a lot of other sounds in their arsenal, from their most characteristic grumbling to squealing, moaning, and grunting. Also, these dogs have agile and nimble paws. Apparently, their hunter ancestor spirit has affected the dog, and it can easily hold food with its paws or open the door like having a hand with 5 fingers. But paws are not the only thing the Alaskan Malamute can surprise us with. It also amazes with its strength. These cute and fluffy creatures can pull a load weighing up to 1.5 tons. And if you've already wanted to get such a handsome creature, here's the last argument in its favor. The dogs of this breed do not smell at all, not even when they're wet. Moreover, their intelligence will be the envy of many adults. By the way, it was Alaskan Malamutes that were used to train artificial intelligence in the dog's way of thinking, Cane Corso. This is an Italian dog breed that evokes mixed feelings. The exact origin of the breed is still unknown. Many believe that it was used by the ancient Romans who used the dog in battles, and then the Cane Corso turned into a simple guard dog. Cane means dog, and Corso means strong or protector. This 110-pound monster will stand up to the end for its family, and few will stop it from doing so. That's why the breed has both clear pros and cons. On the one hand, these dogs can be loyal, kind, and strong. On the other hand, they can be naughty, dangerous, and frightening. It all depends on their training, which not everyone can handle. It's important for the owner to be in good physical shape to be able to hold back the impulse of the dog, as well as give the Cane Corso plenty of space to release its energy. Zeus. Zeus is a good and fitting name for any large animal, and in this respect the record-breaking Zeus fully lived up to the name of the Greek god. He's considered one of the biggest dogs of all time. In 2011, Zeus was listed in the Guinness Book of World Records for his breathtaking size. He was 3.6 feet tall, weighing 154 pounds. Even on his 4 legs, Zeus was unbelievably big. But if he stood on his hind legs, he became a real giant. He was 7.3 feet tall in this position. He was very big, even in comparison to humans, let alone different interior objects and things, besides which Zeus looked like a giant. Zeus's owner had a difficult time. Every day they gave him about 33 pounds of food to keep him in shape and drove Zeus in a truck. He simply didn't fit into a small car. Sadly, the record breaker is no longer with us. He passed away in 2014 at the age of 5. But Zeus has a worthy successor, and interestingly enough, it's his namesake. A Great Dane named Zeus became the largest dog on the planet in 2022. The height of the 2-year-old giant is 3.4 feet. The owners paid attention to the size of the pet when he was still a baby. Even as a puppy, Zeus got distinguished by its incredible size and was the biggest in the litter. Zeus is clearly not going to stop there. He eats 12 cups of dog food for a big dog breed every day to stay in shape and be even bigger. Millie. It's hard not to notice Zeus wherever he is. He'll be visible from everywhere because it's impossible not to see such a giant. The same cannot be said for Miracle Millie, the exact opposite of the Great Dane record holder. Millie is the smallest dog on the planet. Naturally, she's a Chihuahua, no surprises there. Millie is literally times smaller than Zeus because her height is only 3.9 inches. She's so tiny that even glasses, sneakers, bills, balls, and so on seem big compared to her. Almost anything. And just think about it, Millie is an adult dog. Just imagine how miniature she was as a puppy. As Millie's owners say, then she was smaller than a smartphone. By the way, I compared her to Zeus for a reason. If it's impossible not to see Zeus, then Millie can be easily lost, even in the low grass. Her owners say that this happens often, and because of that, Millie's not easy to deal with. Besides her size, Millie holds another record. She's the most cloned dog in the world. Scientists in South Korea created 49 genetically identical copies of Millie to understand why she's so tiny. Take a look at this attack of the clones. At the moment, Millie is already 11 years old, and by the standards of a Chihuahua, she can be considered adult and even a little elderly dog. And since the conversation turned to age, I suggest you take a look at the oldest dogs in the world. The all-time record holder is still not surpassed. This is a dog named Bluey, who lived in the early 20th century. This Australian Shepherd dog managed to live for 29 years. It's unknown whether the record will be broken. Most recently, in October of last year, a dog named Pebbles, who for a long time was considered the oldest dog on the planet, died. The toy fox terrier died at the age of 22. Well, as for the present, now the current record holder is a Chihuahua mix named Gino Wolf. The old lady is already 22 years old. The age is hefty, but she's still far from the all-time record holder. We wish Gino good health and setting a new record. Well, I suggest we move on to visually understandable records and take a look at the fastest dogs, because speed is one of the dog's main qualities. Each dog has its own running technique, but hardly anyone can compare with a dog named Conjo. Conjo can run on 2 forepaws, and she does it very confidently and quickly. A few years ago, the dog even set a record by running 16.4 feet in 2.39 seconds. As for the classic runners, a Whippet named Reese is currently considered the champion. The dog runs 100 yards or 91 meters in 5.7 seconds. This is a very cool result. See for yourself how the champion is running. However, there's nothing particularly surprising because Whippets have long been famous for their running speed. Nevertheless, this breed cannot be called the fastest. Such is the Greyhound. This English breed is the fastest dog in the world. Dogs of this breed can speed up to 42 to 45 miles per hour. For comparison, Whippets rarely speed up to 37 miles per hour. Greyhounds are bred as hunting dogs, so they can easily catch up with a game, for example a hare, and catch it. At the same time, the dogs themselves are not aggressive and behave very nicely outside the races and are considered excellent pets. Someone likes speed and someone likes strength. If you're one of the latter, then you'll definitely like the St. Bernard. These dogs are often called the strongest on the planet, and for good reason. For example, there's data on a St. Bernard named Rates Brandy Bear. In 1978, he set an incredible record. The dog moved a cart weighing more than 6,394 pounds in 90 seconds. He moved it a distance of 4.5 meters, and not on snow, not on ice, but on concrete. At the same time, the weight of the dog itself was only 176 pounds. For such power, Rates was listed in the Guinness Book as the strongest dog in the world. Unfortunately, there are no videos with this record, but there are a lot of videos on which other St. Bernards carry heavy loads, and they pull them quite quickly and deftly. St. Bernards are very powerful and confident dogs that can stand up for themselves, but at the same time will be affectionate to their owners, with proper training, of course. The incredible strength of the St. Bernard is largely explained by the size of the dog, because this breed is considered one of the largest in the world. I suggest we move on to where we started and take a look at the real giants from the world of dogs. Stay tuned to see the largest and strongest dog breeds on the planet. English Mastiff. The English Mastiff is an ancient breed of dog, the largest dog in Europe, the largest of Mastiffs, as well as the largest dog breed in the world. That's how many titles it has. But they're all deserved, because these Mastiffs are really huge. Their height is not less than 29.5 inches, and their weight is not less than 154 pounds. Often, the mass of these English dogs exceeds 220 pounds, and the height reaches almost 3.2 feet. To make it clearer, this is the size of a gray wolf, the largest of all wolves. It's among the dogs of this breed that one of the most impressive record holders of all time can be found. Talking about a dog named Zorba. He went down in history as the heaviest and tallest dog in the world. The giant's height was 37 inches, and his weight was 345 pounds. He was just an incredible giant. As for ordinary English Mastiffs, they can be excellent guards, as well as devoted companions and family friends. The dog feels its size well and is aware of it, so it takes it out not on the owners or children, but only on enemies and intruders. Irish Wolfhound. These dogs are even bigger than English Mastiffs, at least in terms of height. After all, they have it starting from at least 31 inches, and the weight is rather big as well, about 121 pounds. Well, what did you want? How else do you deal with a real wolf? These Irish are the real wolfhounds and have long been used for hunting wolves and deer. Seeing a gray wolf, the Irish wolfhound goes berserk, becomes a demon, and doesn't calm down until it destroys it. However, sometimes these Irish guys can just play with wolves, especially if they live together. Despite its large size, fearlessness, ferocity, and power, at home with its owner and in free time from hunting, the Irish wolfhound is a very affectionate, patient, and even phlegmatic dog. One phrase speaks best about this breed: at home, it's a sheep; on the hunt, it's a lion. Caucasian Shepherd Dog. If the Irish Wolfhound is compared with a lion and a sheep, then the Caucasian Shepherd Dog is often compared with a bear. They're similar in many ways. Both are strong, both have thick fur, and both are huge. The Caucasian Shepherd Dog is one of the largest dogs in the world. These dogs can weigh up to 242.5 pounds or more, and their height reaches 29.5 inches. For a long time, dogs of this breed have been actively used for grazing livestock, protecting the farm, the house, and its inhabitants. That's why the Caucasian Shepherd Dog has a developed instinct for protecting the territory and all family members. It can protect itself and its owners from anyone. Being a wolfhound, the Caucasian Shepherd Dog easily deals with dangerous wolves and instantly eliminates the threat. It can even fight with a bear. And not just to fight with it, but also defeat it. At least the Caucasian Shepherd Dog is able to chase the impudent creature from its territory. In this, it's helped by incredible strength, assertiveness, as well as loud barking. At the same time, the Caucasian Shepherd Dog can become a wonderful pet that will be friendly with its owners. But for this, one will have to try hard. The giant will only obey the unconditional leader with a strong character. French Mastiff. Perhaps the most famous French dog is the poodle. These dogs are small, decorative, and do not inspire fear at all. But this fellow country dog of theirs do inspire fear. The French Mastiff is a large dog that weighs at least 110 pounds. The body of the representatives of this breed is slightly squat. It's big and muscular. Of course, the large size makes this dog very strong, but these French guys are also unpredictable. French Mastiffs have a low boiling point and engage in a fight even if they're not provoked. And the fight, believe me, will be deadly. The grip, jaws, and teeth of these predators are very strong. On the other hand, with proper training and attention, the French Mastiff becomes calm and balanced, so it can become an excellent defender and an ideal friend. American Pit Bull Terrier. The American Pit Bull Terrier is probably one of the most controversial reputations in the canine world. On the internet, you can find a lot of negative comments about the dog, saying that it chews up its owners or attacks people on the street for no reason. But at the same time, many people say it's one of the sweetest creatures a human's ever seen. So which one of them should we believe? In fact, the answer to this question is extremely simple. The pit bull will be the dog that it is trained to be. As far back as 2,000 years BC, the ancestors of the American Pit Bull Terrier lived on the territory in Europe. The official history of the breed begins with the 12th century, the moment when people needed some kind of animal for spectacular and brutal bull baiting. For such bloody entertainment, the pit bull was bred. From its forebears, the Old English Bulldog, it took power and aggression. And from the terrier, it took agility and maneuverability. Along with fighting qualities, anger toward other animals and friendliness toward people were cultivated in the new breed. And even after hundreds of years, when fights between dogs and other cruel activities were finally banned, even when they appeared, the pit bull still didn't get the desired warmth. Dogs of this breed were caught and killed. Everyone saw an insane danger and uncontrollability in them. Against this backdrop, by the way, the American Pit Bull Terrier was banned in many countries. And the number of states which have decided on this step total not units but dozens. At this point, attentive viewers will ask, you said that the dog was bred to be friendly to people, so why is it being caught and killed? The fact is that the dog's fighting qualities were used by criminals. Dogs of this breed help transport prohibited substances, guard criminals, and attack people whom their owners didn't like. And finally, I'll tell you an interesting fact about the grip of this breed. In terms of strength, the pit bull is considered the average among other fighting breeds. Its power is only 55 ATM. The pit bull does not have the bulldog grip, but it should not be underestimated either. Clinging with its teeth, the dog chews the tissues, strengthening the grip. Hence the severity of the victim's injuries. Also, this dog is genetically adapted to perform any task assigned to it 100%. Presa Canario. And now let's talk about a dog that's banned in Australia, New Zealand, and Malaysia. I'm talking about the Presa Canario, a real, gentle, brutal creature, and at the same time fearless protector. For a long time, this dog has had one sole purpose – to guard its owner's large livestock, all thanks to its intimidating appearance as well as its impressive size. But, as in the case of the American Pit Bull, the fundamental role in the dog's behavior is played by its training. If people raise a Presa Canario in love and affection, then it will grow up to be affectionate and lovely. These guard dogs, bred in Spain, can be up to 24 inches tall. They come in all sorts of colors. The dogs can be with numerous spots or just in different colors. Monotonous dogs are also found. But much more interesting, in my opinion, is the behavior of the Presa Canario. Since historically it was a guard, these habits manifest themselves in families as well. For example, if the dog sees an intruder or a person it has never met before who has come to visit its territory, it will follow them closely for a long time. And if they suddenly decide to violate the boundaries, first the dog will warn them with a deep bark, and then it will rush to attack. Unfortunately, due to people who are not too bothered with the training of such a serious breed, the Presa Canario does not have a very good reputation. It's not for nothing that there are many stories on the internet about this dog attacking people with a fatal outcome. Tosa Inu. I suggest we move on to a no less entertaining breed of dog bred in Japan. I'm talking about the Tosa Inu, wonderful dogs which to this day are used in fights by the locals. By the way, these representatives of the animal world have their name in honor of the province where they were bred. It's also surprising that this is the only Japanese breed that's still legally used in fighting events. They're respected in their homeland and considered something like sumo wrestlers in the canine world. Therefore, there are many images that show these animals in this capacity. Also, the locals love to dress these dogs up in appropriate wrestler costumes. These dogs appeared at the end of the 19th century. Then the breeders decided that they lacked a larger, stronger, and more belligerent dog. To make their dreams come true, they had to crossbreed the Shikoku Inu with some European breeds, and this miracle was born. Today, the Tosa Inu is a truly rare and at the same time dangerous breed. It's not for nothing that it's among the banned breeds. To have it, the owners must have the appropriate judicial permission. By the way, the European and American breeders breed much bigger dogs than the Japanese. The American Tosa Inu can weigh up to 209 pounds, while Japanese dogs weigh about 132 to 154 pounds. Also, Japanese dogs are much lower. There's not much to say about their build. As befits a strong dog, the Tosa Inu is muscular, slim, nice-looking, and confident. There's nothing unusual here. The same can be said about the behavior of Tosa Inu in the family circle. If you raise and train it the right way, show perseverance, self-confidence, and punctuality, then the dog will be faithful and obedient. If you let things slide, then you can forget about the dog's obedience. It'll grow up to be an uncontrollable and probably aggressive fighter. It's hard to find a more fearless, ruthless, and aggressive animal. The Tosa Inu literally destroys its opponent without the slightest qualm about doing it, while acting solely according to its genes. Fila Brasileiro. I would call this dog a giant with a piercing gaze. No wonder it's considered a dangerous and ferocious guarding animal. The thing is that these dogs were bred for the purpose of guarding cattle, which means that without their impressive size and aggressive nature, it would be unrealistic to fulfill the goals. In addition, in the past, when legal slavery still existed in Brazil, these dogs could also often look after people, catching up with workers who tried to escape. And here you may ask the logical question, is it really possible for a dog to catch up with a human and knock them down? Especially to catch up with a human who will run as hard as they can and hide behind all sorts of obstacles? The answer is yes, of course it's possible. Externally, it's a very large dog which is 24 to 30 inches tall. Its weight is 90 to 110 pounds. Even the name of this breed came from a word that translates to grab or arrest. And, you know, I'm not even surprised anymore that these dogs are forbidden to be imported into a number of countries. Given a name like that and a history like that, I'd give the same order if I were the head of some state. But from the point of view of an animal lover and everything related to it, I see another way of looking at things. The Fila Brasileira is a noble, confident, and exceptionally courageous dog that's intolerant of outsiders, but is also very loyal to its owner and longs to be with them always. Again, all the problems come from the terrible human training, so it's necessary to limit the circle of people to whom the dog will be sold. I think it's a good idea. There's no need to do a total ban. It's not for nothing that the Brazilians came up with the saying, faithful as a fila. And finally, here's an interesting fact. Thanks to the special camel stride, the dogs of this breed can easily cover long distances. Representatives of the breed move simultaneously with two limbs on one side. This is their distinguishing feature. The Dogo Argentino is the only recognized Argentine dog breed. I would very much like to tell you its curious history. It all started in the 16th century, when mastiffs were imported into this country. They were used for different purposes, but the main one was still dogfighting. Now it's important to say something about the man who made an invaluable contribution to the development of the modern Dogo Argentino. His name is Antonio Norris Martinez. He was a famous local scientist and dog breeder. In the late 19th and early 20th century, dogfighting was gaining popularity. Spanish Mastiffs looked invisible. One day these fearless and strong dogs caught Antonio's eye. Although he was not a fan of such events at all, he became very interested in this dog. The man set a goal to form a new breed from it, which would be suitable for absolutely everything. For dogfights, for hunting, for livestock guarding, for military purposes, as well as just for the family. For many years, Martinez had been working on the project, crossing the Cordoba fighting dog, the bulldog, the German boxer, the bull terrier, the Bordeaux mastiff, the Irish wolfhound, as well as the Pyrenean mountain dog. And finally, he got this nice-looking creature, the Dogo Argentino. Unfortunately, ordinary people didn't immediately appreciate the essence of the idea of the scientist and continued to use the dogs of this breed mainly in dogfights, for which the breed was banned in many countries. Which of these dogs scared you the most? Let me know in the comments. And now, let's talk about dogs' worst enemies – cats. I'll show you some of the most unusual cat breeds on our planet. When choosing a pet, many people pay attention to its size and appearance. Judging only by this, sand cats, which I'll tell you about now, will be the clear favorite of most. But as we all know, nothing in life is easy. These creatures are extremely cute, but at the same time quite dangerous and strong. They literally live in hellish conditions of the Sahara Desert at 131 degrees Fahrenheit. These cats run on the sand, which is heated to 176 degrees Fahrenheit. By the way, it's for existence in such conditions, Mother Nature has given these cats a special fur on their paws, which protects them from burns. What else follows from their habitat is the fact that these cats can exist for quite a long time without water. The cat gets the moisture from food. Basically, its diet includes jerboa, small rodents, lizards, spiders, and insects that it can find. Of the usual, it's worth noting that this cat also hunts snakes and scorpions. Hit the like button if you didn't think it was possible. When hunting venomous creatures, the sand cat is helped by its speed, which reaches up to 25 miles per hour. Cats of this species lead a nocturnal life. During the day, they wait out the heat somewhere in the shade, and as soon as the sun goes behind the horizon, they creep out to hunt. But it's not so simple here either. Before leaving the shelter, these creatures carefully explore the area around so that the situation's safe. Curiously, these cats do the same before returning home. The sand cat has an excellent ear, which helps it in both hunting and defense. Black-footed cat. Here's another cute and seemingly harmless little bump of happiness that you just want to take in your arms and caress. But who would have thought, looking at this creature, that in fact we're in front of one of the most dangerous cats in the world? The creature lives in southern Africa, has a small face, small body size, and a cute appearance. However, statistics show quite the opposite. Not a single day in the life of these cats is not without hunting. Every day they devour more prey than leopards do in half a year. Let me tell you a secret. It's not that these cats are too bloodthirsty. The fact is, because of their small size and fast metabolism, their bodies are constantly in need of food. This is why they have to find food every day. For comparison, for the previously mentioned leopards, one big game is enough for about 10 days. Black-footed cats have remarkable efficiency. Statistically, 2 out of 3 attacks are successful. On average, the cat kills 14 small animals in one night. To hunt, these cunning and fast creatures can use several different methods. The first is known as a quick hunt. Cats instantly jump out of tall grass, rushing at an unsuspecting prey. The other method is a more cautious use of force, when cats quietly observe and carefully sneak up on the prey. If these dangerous and strong cats didn't impress you, which of course is unlikely, I suggest taking a look at some very rare cat breeds. Believe me, it's better not to miss it, so keep watching. Let's start with a unique and at the same time ancient breed, which will surround any owner with its beauty and affection. I'm talking about the Turkish Angora cat. The ancestors of these amazing creatures were wildcats. They didn't look so splendid, but numerous mutations have done their work. They've given these cats a snow-white and fluffy coat in which you want to bump your face, as well as multicolored eyes. By coincidence, there were especially many of these cats in Turkey, hence the name of the breed. There, by the way, these pets are even given as a wedding gift, so this breed is considered great and important. By the way, these cats did not leave the borders of their homeland because the authorities strictly prohibit their export to other countries. Although these beauties are predominantly white in color, you can also find the Turkish Angora of black, red, smoky, and cream colors. Norwegian Forest Cat. The origin of this cute breed is shrouded in many legends and beliefs. Some believe that a cat of this breed once accompanied Thor, and later the Vikings took these cats with them on the ships so that they performed a difficult but very important task, catching rats and mice. Scientists think that the Norwegian forest cat is descended from our last guest, the Turkish Angora cat. These guys were brought to Norway around the 16th century, and that's how the Norwegian forest cats were bred. They got all the best from the Turkish cats and also learned to adapt to the not harsh local climate. Representatives of this breed can boast of their muscular body and long legs. By the nature of these cats, we can say that they're quite calm and balanced. They're distinguished by a high intellect and get on well with people. In general, like almost all other cats on our planet. However, what distinguishes them from the majority is a keen hunting character. This aspect should not be forgotten, so ideally one would live with this cat somewhere in the countryside so that it could run around and burn off its steam. By the way, you should not be afraid of rodents with them. Norwegian forest cats will not give them peace for sure. Bombay cat. And this little one is a look-alike cougar, only paltry in size and with kind eyes. Today, Bombay cats are among the rarest in the world. They originated in the U.S. in the 1950s. On average, they weigh from 7 to 13 pounds and are 10 to 12 inches tall. For crossbreeding, breeders chose black American Shorthair cats and sable Burmese cats. The experiment lasted for several years, and finally, in the fourth generation, little panthers with thick, coal-black shiny coat and amber-expressive eyes were born. In all worldly matters, these babies are quite undemanding. They have excellent health, strong immunity, high intelligence, quiet character, and so on. In short, a complete set for the owner who doesn't want to bother with the care of a pet. Of the curious things about them, I can highlight the fact that they absolutely do not tolerate loneliness. They sleep not curling up in a ball and live long enough, up to 20 years. Egyptian Mau. A cat breed that is at least several thousand years old. In Egyptian, the breed literally means cat. These cats were deified by the locals. If there was a fire at home, the first thing they took out was the lovely Mau cat. And they can be understood. Hardly any human would jump 6 feet from a standing position, right? But Egyptian Maus can. In addition to high jumps, they also stand out for their high speeds. These creatures can reach up to speeds of 31 miles per hour. As you may have already noticed, these guys have a distinctive, very beautiful spotted color. They didn't get it in an artificial way. This is the only such cat breed in the whole world. Burmilla. If the previous breed is ancient and carries with it a whole historical layer in which you can sort out for weeks, then these cats were born in 1981, and it happened by accident. The first cats were born due to the accidental mating of the Burmese cat and the Persian cat of the silver chinchilla color. The woman who was breeding animals liked the resulting individuals and thought out a special program for the breeding of these cute creatures. It's easy to distinguish these beauties. The main feature is their expressive and deep eyes. The pupils have a clear edge. They're mostly green, but there are others, for example, amber. Burmillas do not care if you travel, live with them in the countryside, or in an apartment. The main thing is that the owner doesn't leave the animal. The rarity of the breed is due to their novelty and to the still small number of shelters ready to breed Bramillas. It's likely that after some time there will be much more of them, and that's very gratifying. After all, who wouldn't want to have such a cute, fluffy, and graceful creature at home? Let's take our mind off the furballs. Next, we talk about the largest animals, albinos, cyclops, and rare species with unusual mutations and strange colors. Super horse. I don't think I'd be lying if I said that horses are born every day. Really big horses are born less often, and a giant like Samson is by right the animal that's born once in 1,000 years. This is a huge horse, which has no equal, has never been and probably will not be for a long time yet. Moreover, there was no equal to this horse and probably won't be for a long time. This horse of the Shire breed was born in the 19th century in England. His height was about 7.2 feet, and he weighed 3,351 pounds. This is the tallest and heaviest horse ever recorded. It's impossible to believe that such a horse really existed. In general, the Shire breed horses are famous for their large size and abilities. They can be used for towing heavy objects, races, and more. There are a lot of giants among the Shire, but such horse as Samson is exactly 1 in a million, or even a billion. Pearl. What color are crocodiles? Green, of course. Well, or black if we're talking about black caimans, but crocodiles can also be white. However, such crocodiles are born very rarely. One such unique albino is a rare female alligator named Pearl. Though in fact it's not even an albino, in this case we're dealing with leucism, a partial loss of pigmentation, not the complete loss as in the case of albinism. The female is young, she's about 15 years old, which is quite a small age for alligators that live up to 50 to 60 years. Pearl's not very big, weighing only about 110 pounds and reaching 10 feet in length. She lives in an American theme park in Florida. Only there can Pearl live normally. After all, in the wild it's almost impossible to live with leucism. The predator wouldn't be able to blend in with her surroundings and hunt effectively, and the scorching rays of the sun would quickly destroy her sensitive skin. But in captivity, she's well taken care of, so she's safe here. You must admit animals with leucism and albinism are quite easy to confuse. After all, both are white. As for albinos, there's a place for them in this episode. The first is the very rare albino shark. This in itself is unique, but the individual is also one-eyed. The cyclops and albino mix, such creatures are definitely born only once in 1,000 years, or even less often. An incredible individual was found in Mexico. It was caught by a fisherman named Enrique. Unfortunately, he caught the already dead individual, so scientists couldn't properly study it. However, they found out that the little one-eyed shark was in the same litter with 9 other baby sharks that were born normal. The albino turned out to be the only shark with pathology among its congeners. This makes the individual even more unique and unusual. Yoda. Someone has oddities with eyes and skin color, and someone has oddities with ears. For example, Yoda. No, I'm not talking about a Jedi Master, although his ears were also strange and unusual. I mean Yoda the cat, who was born with 2 pairs of ears. The owners didn't go wrong with the name. It'd be wrong to call this furball otherwise. What happened to Yoda is an extremely rare case of congenital anomaly. The owners took Yoda home as a kitten, instantly falling in love with the unusual creature. However, his ears worried them a little, so the owners decided to check Yoda at the veterinarian. He was shocked by such a phenomenon and stated that he'd only heard about something like this once, but had not seen it personally. The vet admitted that Yoda is special, and more importantly, despite the strange ears, Yoda's hearing is fine, and his health in general is fine too. Snake with a paw. Everyone knows that snakes have no limbs, but as it turned out, there are special exceptions. So a few years ago, a snake got into one of those Chinese houses, and the owner of the house killed the reptile in fear. She was about to throw the body away when she suddenly saw a paw sticking out of the snake. The reptile really had a limb growing. But how? What made the snake so unusual? Most scientists believe that the snake was a mutant, but some scientists have suggested that the snake ate some lizard, its paw somehow didn't digest, took root in the snake's body, and even managed to grow through the skin. Whatever the correct version is, the snake looks creepy. And most importantly, it looks very unusual. Scientists have previously found the remains of ancient snakes that had something similar to paws, but they've never seen such a creature handed to them by a Chinese woman. It's possible that the snake with a paw is the only such individual in history. The same can be said about the next animal from this episode, the Venezuelan poodle moth. It became known in 2009 when zoologist Arthur Anker took a picture of the creature in Canema National Park in Venezuela. It's believed that this particular individual has not been seen anywhere else. Despite the fact that the range of the Venezuelan poodle moth is known, it has not yet been identified or described as a separate species. So all that remains is to speculate and guess. Some scientists believe that the Venezuelan poodle moth belongs to the snout moths family. Others believe that the creature may be somehow related to the tiger moth. One way or another, scientists still cannot describe the species and establish its belonging to a particular family or order. Maybe you can. Share your guesses in the comments. It's been a while since we've had albinos. Let's fix it. Meet the albino raccoon. Surprised? Yes, it turns out that such a creature really exists. They're very different from their striped and dark relatives and outwardly look more like giant possums, rats, or hamsters than raccoons. The unique and rare white fur of these predators is the result of mutations that have occurred in the body. The habits and life features of albino raccoons are the same as those of common raccoons, except that it's more difficult for them to hunt and survive because of their rare fur color. In general, everything's the same as in the case of other albino animals. That's why people try to catch such unique animals and place them in animal reserves and animal centers where people can take care of them. Next, we have another rare animal with an unusual color. Relax, this is not an albino. They will no longer be in the episode. It's the turn of colorful creatures, and the first of them is a pink grasshopper. It's hard to believe that such a creature is even real. It's like a fairy tale character, or at least a Photoshop product, but no, pink grasshoppers actually exist. According to scientists, the unusual color of these insects is the result of a genetic mutation, which is characterized by a violation of the pigmentation of the outer integuments in favor of red, orange, or pink. These grasshoppers look very elegant and cool, but they themselves are clearly not happy with such a mutation. Such creatures are rarely born and even less often live to adulthood. Because of their very bright color, they become an ideal target for predators that detect them in no time. Colorful beauty can be found not only in the grass but also on the ocean floor. Off the coast of North America, along with ordinary lobsters, blue ones can crawl there. And no, this lobster is blue not because it's very cold, it's just another unique animal which is extremely difficult to encounter. Scientists believe that one blue lobster is born among 2 million ordinary individuals. Of course, a unique color is due to a genetic mutation. It causes lobsters to produce excessive levels of dark blue pigment, and as you might have guessed, these arthropods are an ideal target for predators, like pink grasshoppers or albino animals. Only a few blue lobsters manage to survive. That's why they're so rare. Fortunately for them, people usually don't eat such unique creatures. Fishermen consider blue lobsters to be a good omen, so as a rule, they let them go back into the water. And then there are the yellow lobsters. They're not as rare as the blue ones, but they are very unusual. Check them out. Saula. Not only individuals or representatives of some species can be extremely rare, but even the entire animal species as a whole. And the Saula demonstrates this perfectly. This is the even-toed ungulate that lives in Vietnam and Laos. It's also sometimes called the Asian unicorn. Simple Fact says that the animal is very rare. It was discovered only in the early 1990s. Just imagine, 30 years ago, no one could simply find this 220-pound creature. The discovery became a sensation. No one expected that at the end of the 20th century, it would still be possible to discover a new, unknown species of large mammals. Although the species is new, it's already on the verge of extinction. According to estimates, there are less than 250 individuals left on the planet. Scientists cannot say the exact number because they can hardly observe saulas. They have to use camera traps or film animals secretly. Scientists in general cannot tell much about saulas because these hoofed animals are very secretive and unsociable. It's known that saulas move singularly or in pairs, that they're timid, and that they're active in the daytime. It's unknown whether scientists will be able to study this rare animal species in detail. But let's hope that they'll have time to get to know saulas better. I think many people know that a cheetah can outrun a race car when it accelerates, but you would definitely be surprised to learn that there's a bird that flies 3 times faster than the cheetah. Next, I'll show you the fastest animals in the world. Cheetah. Let's start with the symbol of speed. The cheetah has already become a household name in terms of speed because it's the fastest land mammal in the world. This predator boasts a thin and light streamlined body, a small mass, developed lungs, as well as very strong paws. All these factors allow the cheetah to accelerate up to 81 miles per hour. However, this is the maximum capability. Cheetahs usually accelerate to 56 to 68 miles per hour, but even this is very impressive. Speaking of acceleration, this is the main feature of the cheetah's run. As I said in the beginning of the episode, at the start it can outrun even a racing car. Cheetah itself can be called a car because in just 3 seconds it accelerates from 0 to 68 miles per hour. Not all supercars can do that. However, unlike supercars, the cheetah is unable to maintain the phenomenal speed for a long time. Like other cats, it exhausts quickly enough. Incredible speed is the main thing this cat relies on when hunting. Usually the cheetah tracks its prey in an ambush and then rushes at it sharply. Hardly anyone has time to escape from such a tailed lightning. Even such swift animals as antelopes don't always have time to escape from the cheetah. On the other side of the world, however, there are herbivores that could run away from the cheetah and even outrun it in a race. I'm talking about the American pronghorn, the fastest herbivore on the planet. Many call the pronghorn the second fastest terrestrial animal on the planet, with a breakneck speed of up to 61 miles per hour. Not much less than the speed of a cheetah. At the same time, the pronghorn is hardier and can run not only fast but also long. After all, it learned to run away from frisky predators for a hefty distance. The pronghorn can maintain insane speed at a distance of 3 to 4 miles. It's quite enough to outrun wolves, coyotes, and lynxes, the main enemies of these horned sprinters. But neither the cheetah nor the pronghorn nor anyone else can compete with the absolute champion, the fastest animal on the planet. Many scientists unanimously recognize the peregrine falcon, a bird of prey from the falcon's family, as such an animal. The peregrine falcon develops its greatest speed during a dive. It glides down, tracks down the preys below it, chooses one of them, soars up, and then makes a sharp dive down. At this time, its speed can reach speeds of 199 miles per hour. But some researchers believe that this is not the limit and that the peregrine falcon can reach speeds of 242 miles per hour in a dive. That's 3 times the speed of the cheetah. Taking into account the sharp claws of the peregrine falcon and the considerable size of the bird, it's not surprising that after encountering the prey at such a breakneck speed, the falcon does not leave it even a chance. At such speeds, the claws sometimes strike so hard that even the head of a big enough prey can fall off. By the way, the peregrine falcon cannot be called the absolute leader in the world of birds. Yes, it really is the fastest animal on the planet, but if we take the usual horizontal flight, the peregrine falcon is inferior to the needle-tailed swift. In the usual horizontal flight, its speeds reach up to almost 106 miles per hour. Sailfish. If the peregrine falcon reigns in the sky, the sailfish reigns in the water. This fish is the fastest in the world. It lives in tropical, subtropical, and temperate waters of all oceans, and in each of them it amazes the water inhabitants with its insane speed. It can reach speeds of up to 68 miles per hour. Incredible speed helps the sailboat to hunt successfully. The swiftness is achieved by several factors. First, during fast swimming, the fish sail folds and retracts into a special notch on the back. Secondly, during acceleration, the sailfish uses turbulence, that is, the water forms whirls around the fish, which reduces water resistance. Few fish can compete with the sailfish, but there are some. One of them is the black marlin. It's a prime candidate for the role of the world's fastest fish, and it makes sense. Scientists believe that the sailfish is better at accelerating and gaining maximum speed, but the black marlin is better at swimming at the same high speed. This predator rushes through the water at speeds of over 53 miles per hour, so it easily catches up with its prey and catches up with boats and ships. Greyhound. Let's get back on land. There are other epic sprinters in addition to cheetahs and pronghorns. The greyhound is clearly one of them. This is the fastest dog in the world. The English greyhound was previously bred to hunt small game, so insane speed is in the blood of these dogs. The greyhound can easily catch up even a swift hare, because this predator accelerates up to 45 miles per hour. However, according to other reports, the highest speed of the greyhound is 42 miles per hour. Either way, any of these figures are phenomenal. For comparison, the American Pit Bull Terrier and German Shepherd can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour, and the Rottweiler can reach speeds of 25 miles per hour. What's interesting, the greyhound is so powerful and dangerous only during sprints. As soon as the sprint is over and the greyhound is off the race, it instantly turns into a cute dog. You'll want to get your own. Greyhounds are devoid of innate aggression, hardly bark, and behave unobtrusively. In addition, they do not spoil things, and they set affections upon all members of the family equally. It's even hard to believe that such a cutie would beat almost anyone in a sprint race. While we're on the subject of races, why not take a look at horses? These animals are literally made for spectacular races, but not many of them can prove themselves worthy of it. But not the thoroughbred horse, because it's the fastest in the world. The English thoroughbred horses are unsurpassed in their speed. Their norm is to gallop at a speed of 37 miles per hour. On the long distances over 2 miles, they gallop at an average speed of 34 miles per hour. And the all-time champion, by the nickname of Winning Brew, even set a Guinness World Record, speeding up to 43.6 miles per hour. Just imagine how hard the rider has to try not to fall off such a lightning-quick creature. It's one thing to watch a beautiful horse galloping at a race. It's quite another to watch a giant lizard run that can take your life. That's exactly what the praise of the Parenti, the next impetuous creature in this episode, are watching. It's the largest of its kind in present-day Australia and one of the largest lizards in the world as a whole. It reaches a length of 6.5 to 8 feet and weighs more than 44 pounds. Despite this, the adult is capable of speeding up to 25 miles per hour. The Parenti may run both on 4 legs and on 2 hind legs. Speed, strength, and size are a serious combination. As the top predator in its range, the Parenti can swiftly catch up with any animal and finish it off. People shouldn't relax either. It's known that the Parenti is capable of knocking an adult person to the ground with one blow of its tail. The good news is that these lizards live far away from human habitation. Mexican free-tailed bat. Still remember how I told you about the fastest birds, the peregrine falcon and the needle-tailed swift? These feathered creatures could enjoy flying with the Mexican free-tailed bat. However, it's not a bird but a bat species. But that doesn't stop it from being a leader in some sense. This is not only the fastest bat, but also one of the fastest animals in horizontal flight. The speed of the Mexican free-tailed bat reaches 99 miles per hour, not much less than that of the needle-tailed swift. This species of bat is not aggressive at all, which is why the Mexican free-tailed bat is often used in various studies. For example, regarding the mechanism of ultrasonic communication. However, it's probably not easy for scientists to catch such frisky creatures. However, this cannot be called too difficult a task. Mexican free-tailed bats live in caves and super-large colonies, up to thousands of individuals, so you can definitely catch someone. And let's finish with insects, because here too you can look at incredible speed. For example, the common dragonflies are very fast. They're one of the most common insects on the planet, but not everyone knows they're also one of the fastest. Dragonflies can move as fast as a car at a speed of 37 miles per hour. But some individuals accelerate even faster. When a dragonfly flaps its wings, the upper and lower wings form a collapsing wedge, causing a jet of air to be thrown backwards, creating a reactive force that pushes the dragonfly forward. The dragonfly's wing structure is ideal for fast flights, but these insects can fly as they want it all, very quickly or very slowly. They can suddenly change their flight direction or even freeze in the air. As for ground bugs, the tiger beetles from Australia have no equal. They reach speeds of 5.5 miles per hour. Compared to the flights of dragonflies, peregrine falcons, or cheetahs, this seems insignificant, but don't forget about their size. Considering the modest size of the beetle, it makes a leap to a distance of 125 body lengths in just a second. This is the same as if a person covered a distance of 700 feet in a second. Now that's impressive. And that's it for today. Which of these animals surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.